Today we have someone I have known for over 20 years. We both came up playing in the Adelaide hardcore scene, and this man's contribution was no small feat. From playing small stages in Adelaide to tour managing one of the biggest bands in the world, Parkway Drive, and now trail running and motivating people around the world. The government would call him Luke, but I know him better as Webbs. Mate, how are you, brother?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. It's great to see your smiling face again. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, I think the last time I saw you very briefly was just backstage at the Bleeding Through show. Before that was years and years and years. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it has, mate. But it still doesn't really seem like a day's gone by, does it?
I know it's crazy. Yeah, yeah. And neither of us I mean, when I smile, you get a bit of those wrinkles coming up now with the age. But I
I
think
reckon
we're both
we're
doing
doing all
pretty
right.
good.
We're
Yeah,
doing good.
yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with a bit of moisturizer and looking
Absolutely,
after
mate. It's part of the routine these days.
That's it. It's a good time, mate. You've got there's so much like we could talk about here. I want to start with like the trail running stuff.
Yeah.
That's like kind of where I came back into your life just recently. Seeing your stuff on Instagram and TikTok. It is fantastic, really motivational. You don't just show the good times, you show the bad times in there as well, which I think is important.
Mhm.
One of my favorites, you walking back from kind of running back from the shops with the brown paper bag in the rain, bag falling apart on you, which is the perfect time to grab the phone out and start posting.
Absolutely, mate. I, I mean, I enjoyed running it across sort of the last 20 years, but only sort of small distances. And then I started to get into longer distances a couple of years ago, and I was just running some road marathons and those kind of things. And then I started just going, I might try trail running because you get to obviously go out into the bush. It's nature. It's kind of like likes going for a hike, right? And I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
could do my exercise in the bush. And I was like, perfect. Then I found there's a whole community behind it and all these people, all these events. I was like, fantastic. So I really got into it, found a few friends that I loved it as well. And but it wasn't just about running, really. I noticed that it allowed me to one, just kind of reset, getting away from the hustle and bustle of the city and being out in the kind of wilderness, sometimes by myself. I just love that kind of clarity that it gave me. And I guess also the endurance side of it, where I'm trying to push for longer distances, that actually really helped me with bit of the trauma I've had as growing up and some of my mental health issues. They really it just really gelled with me. The sport just helped in so many ways, and I thought I'd just love to kind of share what I'm doing, but also kind of put that mental health spin on it for people, just to kind of show, hey, just everybody goes through this stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you've got really awesome thoughts and ideas behind it and you want to share them with people. And other times it's just hard. But if you can kind of just be I like real people on the internet, people that are real on their social media profiles. And I don't have a big following at all, but the people that do follow me, I have great interactions with them. And I really love that those few people can reach out to me and have a chat about something that's on in their life. And at the same time, a few of them like running. So we get to talk about that too.
That's fantastic. I have the same sort of thing with my TikTok. I'm very, very raw and emotional on there sometimes,
I
and
love
very,
it.
yeah, very, very honest. Whether it be tears or whether it be a smiling face, I put it out there for people because it's all part of life and it's all important, not just to show that stuff, but to share it with other people so other people can feel connected to their lives and can feel like, hey, I'm not alone.
I think that's when I started seeing you because I'm pretty new to TikTok. I only kind of got on there a few months ago, and you kind of just came into the feed somewhere along the line, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I haven't seen your face for a while, but it was just nice to kind of see what you were doing. I think I gelled with it because you were kind of doing something similar to the way I like to do things. You were just being real, and I
Yeah.
think it just really made me like, I watched through all your videos. It's not like I watch a bit and scroll through because I actually find what you're saying interesting and real. And yeah, hence why, I know you're a good bloke, but I thought, your content was really good and resonated with me. So nice one.
No, cheers. I appreciate it. And yeah, I do really try and just open and honesty is important to me, especially when it comes to mental health. And as someone that's had massive, massive struggles and issues with my mental health for, most of my life,
Sure.
that's something that has resonated really true is being open and honest about it. Because if you're not and you're hiding things or you're trying to, push it away, it's just going to get worse.
I,
Um,
I feel that sharing not only helps other people who might be going through it feel connected, it actually helps you in a way because you're kind of voicing it, you're getting it off your chest, and you know, you're not necessarily directing it at one particular person, but some people are listening, and that
Yeah.
helps everybody. And good on you for being vulnerable and just being able to sort of just share those feelings. There's no shame in it. There's that stigma around mental health is absolute BS. I just
100%.
think we've got to get out there, especially as men. It's one of those things with men, isn't it? Like we don't want to show our weaknesses, but it's
Yeah.
not a weakness. It's just being a human being, really, isn't it?
100%. I'm actually part of a mental health org that we're in the process of building called Heavy Mental Health, with a
Oh, awesome.
focus on the heavy community, music community. So
I love that.
just trying to get people to be open to talking about their mental health. Yeah.
That is awesome, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, sounds like you're sort of bringing people together, and hence why we're
Uh,
probably having this conversation now.
yeah. Oh, look, it's time that people are talking about that sort of stuff, and I'm sick of seeing people I know and friends and family lose their lives to it. So
Oh, absolutely.
um,
Such a shame, and it's happened to lots of people I know. So
yeah,
yeah,
and look, and I've been there myself many times.
yep,
It's yeah, and so I know how real it is, and I know how much of a struggle, and sometimes how little help can be out there. So just having a voice on the internet about that and hearing somebody else go through something sometimes is all you need to go, hey, I'm not alone.
absolutely, mate. And like even with the distance, I'm in Victoria, you're in South Australia. I'm always here for you. There's always
Ah,
people out
cheers,
there.
brother.
There's always people out there who, you've had a connection with. We always had good chats. We might have not hung out like, full time as like best mates all the time, but we
Yeah,
always had good conversations. And
100%.
I just think, you connect with real people. It doesn't matter if 20 years goes by. You still care about their well-being and you want to make sure good people are doing well. So, yeah,
100%. Now, speaking of 20 years, it was at least 20 years, maybe more ago. I kind of came into the scene as a fresh new face, playing in a band called Paradise Burning.
that's right.
You were well established already in the scene. Shot Point Blank were doing amazing things already. Talk to me about that time in your life. Like, um, it's such a seminal moment in not just Australian hardcore, but the Adelaide music scene in general. And the bands that were coming up at that time that you were not just, getting to see, but you were part of a lot of those formation of a lot of those, seminal bands.
Yeah, mate. I mean, it was an incredible time. It's like, I think about it a lot, to be honest. I love where I'm at now, and obviously my life is very different now. I'm a dad, and I'm more into sort of trail running and stuff. I still blast heavy music. When I'm at the gym or running or just driving around in my car, I still love it. But I just I'm not out there as involved as I once was. But that time was just so special. I think it was, the internet was sort of new, wasn't really as accessible. Being into kind of alternative music, I guess, heavy music was, I feel like it was pretty special. It was kind of a bit of you kind of felt like it was really underground at the time. And it was kind of cool to see, you come to a show and you'd be like, oh, there's other people like this weird little underground thing that I like. There was no judgment. Everybody could be a little bit different. There was a lot of kind of, politics to it as well, which was kind of people were talking about some important issues. And I think it was just really special. And obviously, I made some really incredible friends then, and I was able to go on and do some cool stuff with my band and some stuff, obviously with Parkway Drive from that, and that allowed me to do sort of 10 years of seeing the world, which was amazing. And to see them grow from being a little band playing at the Underground in Adelaide, a tiny little venue, to playing, having their own festival now in the US. Like, it's just nuts.
Well, now announced in Australia as well.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just announced in Australia, playing Adelaide, which I'm very, very happy about.
that's the Park Waves, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so it's
And
just all the dates got announced today.
oh, I didn't see that. Well, that's incredible. And the Opera House, like, wow, like
Oh,
just
yeah,
cool stuff.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just amazing. Well, I mean, talking about Parkway, um, how did that transition happen going from, I mean, I know you talk about that Adelaide show, then playing the Underground. We were there. We both played that show.
Yep.
An amazing show and something I still talk about with people these days,
Yep.
about how amazing that show is. I think there was like 5 ambulances got called. I
I,
think.
I think there was a few broken noses and broken arms or
Well,
legs or something.
it was the first time we'd seen, like, you had all these Byron kids that were all spin kicks in the
Mhm.
pit. And then you had all the Adelaide guys that were way more throwing fists and picking up change. And
It was
it kind of collided for the first time in a big way.
it was pretty full on, I remember, and it was obviously a small little venue. And I think at the time, like Parkway weren't that known. Like they had a couple of, I think they might have had an EP out or something.
It was for the Parkway Prom Queen split
Split.
EP launch.
That's right. And it was just an incredible show. Obviously a lot of carnage, but just so much fun. And like just think that no one ever knew that that band playing at that time, they could have
Oh,
just been another band that plays for a few years and fade away, you know. And to see like they're like an Australian icon now. It's
yeah,
crazy. And
yeah.
still going into their like those guys are all into their sort of 40s, mid 40s, like crazy stuff. And I was really blessed to be a part of that. It was just, I guess, right place at the right time. And my band was, you know, my band was never a big band, but we were always a band that was busy. So we always did stuff and we were
Yeah.
always playing shows. And, you know, I love the community we had around our band and the people that followed us and stuff. I felt like it was really kind of wholesome, kind of very real crowd. I did love the Shot Point Blank kind of community. And as that kind of fizzled out, I guess I was kind of still looking to kind of see the world a little bit and stay in music. And the Parkway guys at the time were like, "Oh, did you want to come on tour?" And we're doing they were doing a big tour with Have Heart and God, a couple of other bands, and they needed someone just to help with setup and drum teching and stuff. So I said, "Yeah, I'll come and do it." I think I was just getting. They said, "I'll give you $50 a day and some food," and I was like, "Yeah, well, that sounds great." Um, and I didn't really have many responsibilities, and I could afford to do that. And then that turned into going to Southeast Asia with them, and then becoming their tour manager, and then slowly going to the States twice a year, Europe twice a year. Spent a lot of time touring in vans with them to start with, because they weren't quite at the big bus level kind of.
Yeah.
So we were playing all day, driving all night, driving through snowstorms, just so many like crazy things like happened in weird situations and very amazing adventures.
Like, yeah.
But then to see them grow into that next level where we started getting buses and trucks and stuff, and it was just like, wow, how did we get here? And it really taught me a lot about, like the music industry, but also just managing people. I didn't go to college, university or anything like that, but a lot of the skills that I earned that I probably take into my day-to-day job now, which is I work in software these days, is something that I guess I learned on the road.
Hard work as well is the thing I take from them. They work
Yeah.
hard and they did the hard yards, you know. Um,
Yeah, they would.
were you able to share like a holy shit moment with them? This is like something's happening here.
Yeah,
Oh, little drop out there. Oh, he's back.
back there he goes. Just
It
dropped off.
happens. The
I'm
joys of
back.
the internet. Yeah, so yeah, a holy like was there a holy shit moment where it's like, that kind of okay, something's changed, something's
Yeah,
gotten bigger
I
here.
think for me, if I think back to probably around 2009, I reckon. I think it was called Sweatfest, and it had Acacia Strain and maybe A Day to Remember on it.
Awesome.
Um, and it was at the River Stage in Brisbane, which is a big outdoor amphitheater with like a big hill, and everybody stands on the hill, but it's a big place.
Mm.
It maybe fits 3 or 4 thousand people. And on today's level, that's probably not that much for them. But like when I first saw that for the first time, I was like, holy crap. One, they're playing this venue, which is an iconic Brisbane venue. Two, it's nearly full. And it just looked like nothing else I'd ever seen for a band like that. I just couldn't believe it. I just thought, wow, this band is like blowing up. But they were still kind of doing that funny Parkway stuff with the inflatable waves and
Yep.
people around in costumes and bodyboards on stage. And Luke was in a wheelchair, and like it was, it was just really cool, but like also unbelievable. And then obviously from there, it like went on to kind of get bigger and bigger. And obviously now they're very professional, and they've kind of gone more down the track of maybe being a little bit more appealing to a wider audience. But I love it. I'm proud of them. I'm so I always look forward to see what they're doing and what they're putting out, because it naturally progresses to the next level each time. And I feel like that's what they've always done, but they have earned it. I mean, we definitely did the hard yards in the early days of like really busting our ass so they could save money and kind of keep touring, rather than just, they probably were at points where they could have afforded bigger buses and more crew and those kind of things early on, but we didn't, because we were like, no, we can be self-sufficient. We don't need to spend as much money. We can keep touring. We're not going to hemorrhage all this money all the time. And I think that kind of paid off for them, because now they're in a position where they can be pretty comfortable.
Well, not just that, they're putting on shows that people like this last run of shows, people are saying, how do you top that?
But what do you do next?
Yeah, like, and how do you, I mean, the Opera House, of course, but then how do you top that even? Like, it's just,
The last that last I went to the last Adelaide show that where they had the big kind of industrial kind of production with the bridge and that all the
yeah.
dance stuff. Like that was next level. I was like, wow, it may have been a lot of shows, seen a lot of bands, a lot of big bands, and I was impressed. Like it's on world scale. It's like,
Oh, and then some. It's on like Kiss level scale.
and but what's next? And they will do something bigger and better, because they always do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's get that like a roller coaster for the drum set and
Yeah,
go
it's
full
absolutely.
Motley Crue, or you go the opposite of it and strip it all the way back down and do a regional run and have some fun on a floor show.
I'm sure they'll probably
Imagine,
do.
imagine getting to see Parkway do a floor show.
I know
Old school.
it might happen one day, maybe some secret shows, something like that. They're always kind of surprising people, and yeah, I mean, it was a real adventure. It was great, and like I grew a lot in that time, and I made incredible friends, and I got to see a lot of friends around the world all the time, and we had some crazy stories, a lot of like breakdowns and those kind of things in the middle of nowhere, and
Well, that was
uh,
going to be my next question. Like, have you ever had to like go full MacGyver? Is there like a situation that you remember where you're like, oh, we went full MacGyver and made something out of nothing and made it work?
oh, this.
It's probably hundreds and hundreds of them
There's
over the
hundreds,
years.
there's loads of times where we were like pushing the limits to get to shows. You like literally got to finish, pack up, and drive for 12 hours to get to the next show somewhere in the other side of America.
Yep.
There was times where we were, like really having to um, I guess, kind of play with the weather a little bit, because we'd be like in Salt Lake City, you'd have to drive over the mountain range there. The mountain range there is notorious snowstorms and that. And sometimes you just can't drive on the highway. So got to try and figure out like, when can we leave? Is there an alternative route? All that kind of stuff. Some pretty hairy situations with like driving on some pretty hectic, like icy roads and stuff. One of the, I guess, coolest stories was like that I always tell was in the Ukraine. We were driving from Kiev, and we were driving back west. I can't remember what country we're going to. Maybe Romania or somewhere like that. And so we're in the middle of the Ukraine, and I remember waking up and the bus was just stopped, and I got out thinking we're at a service station, something like that. And we weren't. We were just in the middle of a like field, and I was like, oh no, this doesn't seem good. And obviously I spoke to the bus driver. He said, yeah, the bus is broken. And it's going to take 10 hours to get a mechanic here that can fix a
Ooh.
Mercedes from some other country. And we were like, great. So firstly, we had to tell the next show in whatever country that was that we weren't coming, because it wasn't going to be happen. We looked at flights, stuff, it just wasn't possible. So we were just stuck on the side of the road. So we went for a walk just out into this field. We just followed this dirt path down this field, and we didn't know there was anything there. But then a village kind of started to appear, and we're like, "Oh wow, there's like a little town here. This is cool." And like it was just like out of a movie. Like these like four or five of us walking down in our thongs and board shorts, covered in tattoos, and people started like popping their heads out of their windows and those kind of things. Felt like these weird freaks had gone into this like town or something, some sort of movie style thing. And then people started coming out. I remember this old lady came out to us, and she didn't speak any English, but she started like gesturing to follow her and stuff. And so we just thought, oh well, whatever, we'll go to tour guide. So we we went down to the local shop and we bought some bread and some chocolate and stuff. And then the lady kept going, come with me, come with me. And then we sort of followed her through the village and we went up through this like weird path up through all these stinging nettles. And we were like, where the hell is this lady taking us? And why is she taking us somewhere? Um, and then we ended up climbing this hill, got to the top of the hill. And then she kind of gestured like, can I have something for showing you around? And we're like, you can have the loaf of bread and the block of chocolate we bought. So we just gave her the chocolate and bread. And then she just kind of started walking back down the hill through the stinging nettles. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, what did she bring us up here for? Anyway, we started looking around up there and we realized she'd actually taken us to a castle. There was a castle kind of like there. And we walked up and there was like a castle and there was all these like little food trucks and stuff. And we were like, oh, wow, she was actually taking us somewhere cool. And we had this amazing day exploring this old Ukrainian castle.
Wow.
Just not realizing that we were anywhere near anything at all, and just had like an amazing day, learn a bit about the local history, and obviously just one of those days that could have been an absolute disaster turned into something quite fun and enjoyable.
And massively memorable as well.
Yeah, super memorable. It's one of those stories I always tell. And I actually, one of the things that was funny about it is as the lady was leading us up the path, some other old lady came out of a house and was like, yelling at her, like, you know, saying something like, why are you taking these people around? They started like trying to like kung fu fight in the street. It was quite funny. It was quite funny.
That's awesome.
So it was very comic day. So it wasn't anything like bad. It was actually like one of those days where I was so thankful to have broken down and actually have to enjoy something I would have never seen.
Yeah, meant to be.
Absolutely. And it's like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head at anything. I mean, there's always the kind of bad stories, I guess. You know, like there's always the hard stuff. You know, I was not with Parkway, but I was on that Red Shore tour when all that stuff went down.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hard times. You know, I was on tour at the
I wasn't even there, and it was hard for me. So
yeah,
yeah, very good friend.
As everyone knows, it's a very very challenging kind of lifestyle. And even, you know, we were on the road when the Ghost Inside had their crash. We were in America, not that far from them. And it just hits home. You're like, wow, we are literally like in a moving vehicle all the time. Anything could go wrong and this could happen to us at any time. So I was just really thankful that in my days of touring that none of that kind of stuff happened to me. However, you know, unfortunately it did happen to some of our friends. So yeah, the good and the bad, mate. It was obviously an amazing adventure, but I'm kind of happy to not do it anymore. I just feel more comfortable being at home. I've got a son now, so I like being at home, being a dad.
Yeah, and look, you're still seeing the world just in very small increments while you're running now.
Yep, just I see the world that's kind of more in my local state. I go out into the mountains here. I love living in Victoria because we've got awesome mountains not that far away. And go on holidays. I actually go on a holiday and enjoy it now because I used to go on holidays and think, oh, this is boring because it just felt like I was going away on tour again. Now I actually love going on a holiday. It's super fun. So it was a big lifestyle shift, but awesome experience.
No, that is awesome. Mate, I always round up these with some quick fire questions. So they're just off the top of your head. You can expand on them if you want, but it's pretty basic sort of stuff. So who's your favorite band?
Earth Crisis.
Earth Crisis, bang, straight in. And that's, I'm pretty sure, like 20 years ago, still Earth Crisis.
Still the most important band to me. Still a band that's doing the same stuff, still believe in the same core values. I just have so much respect for them. I flew over to the US to see them a few years ago. Just, you know, I probably don't listen to them as much as I listen to other bands now, but if you want to talk about favorite bands, it's not necessarily like maybe they're not necessarily the greatest musicians. I mean, I think they are, but just in terms of what they are and what they stand for, they're more than just music to me.
100%. I even know that they're a band that shaped your life and your personality and who you are.
They did, yeah. So important to me and helped me get through a lot of hard times in my life. And yeah, and I just feel like, you know, I actually became kind of, you know, not close friends, but I became friendly with the guys and chatted to them a bit. And it was really nice to see how great of people they were as well.
It's amazing when you get the chance to meet some of your heroes and they still are your heroes after the conversation. So
that's right, absolutely. So yeah, that's hands down number one.
No, rock and roll, mate. Who's your favorite non-metal band?
Non-metal band? Well, I grew up on punk rock mostly. So I'd probably have to say Pennywise is probably like my favorite non-metal band. But I mean, I love everything these days. I run a lot, and to be honest, when I run, I need to listen to something with just a consistent beat. So I'll listen to a lot of EDM just
Yeah.
because
Nice.
it's easy to run to. It sort of just sits in your head. You don't have to think about it too much. So there's a lot of EDM I like these days. I probably couldn't tell you the artist, to be honest. Sometimes they just all blend into one.
Yeah.
But let's say Pennywise is the actual band that I
Nice.
love. That wasn't
Nice.
meant.
I like that. I like that. Do you have a favorite Australian band? Doesn't have to,
Favorite
could be current, could be like from 50 years ago.
favorite Australian band. That's a good question. I'd probably say some of the early kind of hardcore bands that I got into just in the local scene. And I'll probably say it's sort of hard to, they're not, again, not necessarily my favorite music, but just the experience. And because music's a bit, I'm big on the experience that you have with music. And
Yeah.
I think bands like Embodiment 1214
Yes.
and Force Fed 9,
Yes.
those two bands for me really kind of got me into the scene. And I owe a lot to them to actually, for where I kind of got and how I was so, it kind of got me obsessed with that kind of music. And it's just thanks to them, they were all so nice and became friends. So I'm going to say, I always love the metal stuff and the heavier stuff. I know there's great bands out there that aren't so metal, not as much for me. But I definitely like the heavier side of punk and hardcore and
Yeah.
metal. Like I was a bit more, not so much the youth crew guy. I was a bit more I like the brutality.
Hell yeah. So do you get into like your deathcore type stuff now? And
Yeah, I mean, there's even bands like Thy Art Is Murder and stuff. I like that.
oh, love it.
I love over the years I've listened to bands, like Children of Bodom, and I listened to Amon Amarth quite a bit
Great band.
recently.
Yeah.
So I like a lot of that stuff too. I'm pretty diverse with it, but if it's heavy and got some good chunky breakdowns in it, I'm all over that. But I also like a little bit of melody time to
But
time.
on the side, it's got to be, if it's heavy and melodic, I'm all over it.
Oh, it's just the best, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
just, I still to this day can hear mute bands like that and be like, fuck yeah, that's like really doing it for me.
Yeah. All right. What was the favorite gig you've ever played? Now, I'd include like the stuff you tour managing stuff in that as well. Like there could be a standout amongst playing a show or your tour managing stuff that you like. That's the one.
Favorite band favorite show we ever played. Shot Point Blank did this random tour of the States in 2004. There was no GPS. We drove around with maps and navigating in the snow with just a map, like a street directory. And we got to play all these random shows. And it was actually amazing. We got put on some really cool shows, but we got put on this one show. It was the New Year's Eve hardcore fest up in upstate New York, like Rochester. And there was bands like Damnation AD and The Promise.
Yes.
The Path of Resistance played, which is like Earth Crisis' side project. Who I love that band. I've got a lot of tattoos of theirs and stuff. And Shot Point Blank got asked to play as well. So we played in this skate park with all these iconic bands. And I think for me, it was actually the first time I met the Earth Crisis guys too. And I was just like, wow, I can't even believe that I'm here. And I actually, right, up on my wall there, I have the promo photo for the Path of Resistance second record, and it's me at that skate park in an Australian straight edge with my hand in the air, and I was like, "Wow, made it to the cover! Like that's pretty cool."
That's really cool. Yeah, that is awesome.
That was a bit of a life changing moment for me, especially
Yeah.
as a young man. I was quite young then, was that 21 years ago? That was pretty special.
Makes you feel old as well.
It does. 45.
Yeah, 46 in a few months.
Oh, we're about the same age then. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, 79. What's the first gig you ever went to?
First gig I ever went to was Where's the Pope, the Numbskulls, and the Bearded Clams at the
Yes.
Surf Lifesaving Club.
Oh, South Australian classics there as well.
Still love them to this day. Like amazing, just surf punk, skate punk kind of stuff. And I snuck in with a fake ID. I was about 15. I had a guy at school print me a fake ID. I've actually still got it. It was terrible. Like I don't know how anyone accepted it, but it got me to all those gigs, and I would have been off my face on cask wine. I was 15, having a great.
I can't imagine that, to be honest.
Well, I did all my drinking between 15 and 18, and I haven't drank since I was 18. So
We've been straight edged like ever since I've known you. So
Yep, since 1997.
yeah,
So yeah, still doing it, still doing it.
it's
I'm not,
awesome.
yeah, not gonna change, not for me. I'm, obviously as you get older, it's not your whole identity, but it is me. It's just what I do. I like to do it, but it's not everything I think about and stuff, probably like you do when you're 20.
Yeah.
But and I, so many of my friends aren't that anymore and do drink and stuff, and that just doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah.
It's like do your own thing, be happy. Even, I've always been a bit of an advocate for, veganism and animal rights and those kind of things, but I definitely noticed, I'm an advocate for a lot of things, a lot of injustice in the world, and but I try to kind of I feel like over the years, probably not completely, but I've toned down a little bit the way I try to approach things, because I do find I have better conversations with people if I can kind of approach it from a bit more of a way to kind of understand other people's points of view rather than just tell them something. So not perfect at it, but getting better.
Mate, I think that's all we can do is life is just try and improve and be better. And yeah,
Absolutely, man. Yep.
it's all good stuff. Mate, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming over and having a chat. It's been amazing just catching up, hearing some stories. Um, I'll have to get you back sometime as well. I'd love to hear like, do another one of these, maybe talk some activism.
Yep.
I can't talk. Some other touring stories as well, and all this other running stuff that's going on in your life. But have you got anything else like you want to plug or promo or
Not really plug. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is just as I've gotten older, I really just kind of live a bit more of a simple life, and I think sometimes like life gets pretty complicated for a lot of people, and mental health has become one of those things that I've worked through my entire life, and I've really got myself to a spot where I'm pretty good at dealing with it now, but it was hard. It took me a
Mm,
long time, and I'm not perfect at it, and it's still challenging. But I think the main thing for me is just sort of letting other people know, and anyone that might be watching this, is that like, speak to people and get out there and maybe absorb the content from people like you and like stuff like I share, and there's plenty of other people that share really great motivational stuff that, if you can't find that, if you can't find that kind of light or that little bit of hope in the day, it's always out there somewhere. So just find the right little things that spark those little glimmers for you day to day. Whether it's just, you're either watching someone who you love on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or something that, it gives you some positivity, or
mm.
going for a walk and just watching the birds in the trees and those kind of things. It's all those tiny little things that are around us every day that make life so much better and enjoyable and give us those little sort of endorphin hits. And I think the biggest thing I would love anyone to take away from anything I do is just to know that life's worth living. It is great. There's plenty of beautiful stuff out there, but it's fucking hard sometimes. But just reach out to people. Just reach out and talk.
And that is 100%. It is fucking hard sometimes, but it's hard for everybody sometimes,
Yep.
and everybody knows what it's like when it's hard. So just put your hand up and say, "Hey, I need some help," and reach out to people.
Yeah, you'll find so many people go through the same stuff. And once you start, sharing a little bit, you don't have to share everything, but once you start just sharing a little bit around your feelings or what's going on, you find other people open up, and it helps you kind of feel a lot. For years growing up, I thought I was like the strangest, weirdest kid. Something was completely wrong with me. Then I realized later on in life, I just had a bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a thing that lots of people have. I'm not a complete weirdo like I thought I was. Um, just from talking to people about it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, but it took me 45 years
Yeah.
to find out I've got ADHD. And a lot of these things that I'm finding out that I thought were completely normal that aren't normal.
Yeah.
um, and that made me feel like I was like losing the plot because I didn't put my hand up and talk about them.
Well, mate,
Yeah.
anyone like yourself, anyone that ever wants to talk, like I'm always happy to like just, even if it's just a bit of back and forth, or you're just like wanting to tell someone something or whatever, I'm always here to listen. I love that stuff. I love to help people.
I couldn't agree more with that. Mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Instagram, it is runx. 4x your x life x.
Yep, that's right.
Ooh.
You have to, it's not just for runners. I post plenty of stuff that just help the day-to-day person. Like I do it mixed in with running, because to me, mental health and running go hand in hand.
I couldn't agree more, and I love your content, mate. There'll be links in the bio for all the web stuff. So go over, check it out, show him some love, and I appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Bloody awesome to talk to you.
You too, mate. All right, great.